like to do, as long as you don't hit anybody. That's great. Just kind of move the body a little bit. Loosen up. Good.
ครับเอาละแยกปะ
Because we are going to be next
เรื่องเลยจะ
doing some practice in sitting meditation. We've already had a little bit of that, and everything that has been said about walking meditation, standing meditation, dynamic meditation, all of that applies. Okay, so it all fits together. It all applies. So when you're ready, go ahead and have a seat. Or if anyone wants to continue standing while they're listening to me, that's fine too. But we'll get to the meditation in just a moment. Can everyone hear me okay? Are we doing all right there? Okay. So, well, as meditation has been popularized, I'm sure many of you have seen sort of the magazine cover version of meditation. So there's usually typically a young woman in yoga pants in a full lotus position with a blissful look on her face. And that's the image you're supposed to get. And I think that, well, it sells magazines because everybody would sort of like to be like that in a way, you know. But I don't think it's a good entry into meditation. Because, well, first of all, you don't have to be a yogi in order to do sitting meditation. You can sit in a chair. Some of you may be more flexible and able to get into a half lotus or a lotus position. That's fine. It is stable. That's why it's traditionally taught that way, but it's not necessary to do that. And I think the effort ought to be focused more on posture from the waist up. Now, these benches are fairly low down, and some of you may have longer legs. And it is helpful to have your knees at the same level as your hips, or a little lower than your hips. So you may need to tuck your feet under the bench in order to achieve that. If your knees are up high, it'll tend to make your back arch out, in the lower back arch out, and that doesn't lead to good posture. But posture from the waist up, like Master Jubu was talking about, it's the same when you're standing as when you're sitting. Both the same posture. And then, once the posture is established, focusing on the breathing can settle the mind. And in some meditation practices, that is the sole focus, just breath following meditation. Focus on the breath. What I'm going to guide you in a moment here is a form of meditation in the Zen tradition that is called, in Japanese, Shikantasa, which just means just sitting, just sitting. And the quickest way to describe just sitting is to sit still and let go of thoughts. Sit still and let go of thoughts. That sounds easy, but it's not. And it's really a lifelong practice. You don't grade yourself, you just do it. And if you do any of these meditation practices that we've talked about on a daily basis, they yield benefits. But don't focus on the benefits. Just do the practice. The benefits show up in your life. You don't necessarily get to be a master meditator, but the practice of daily meditation affects the way you perceive the world. It affects the way you live in the world. And that is the real purpose for this. To help us live in the world, to live our lives, to take care of our lives. Not to be a master yogi or meditator. So, I think probably the easiest way to do this would be to just go into get something that can allow me to follow the time easily. And what I will do is start with 3 bells, 3 rings of the bell. And we'll end with 1 ring of the bell. And during the initial time, I'll be offering some guidance. And then there'll be a relatively longer period of silence. Silence is a wonderful place. Many people are afraid of it, especially in our culture where we just crave stimuli. But it's a wonderful place when you get to know it well. So we'll start with this and with 3 rings of the bell, and then I'll be guiding you through initially. So your eyes can be either closed or, it's recommended, a little bit open. If you can keep them a little bit open and downcast. But if you find that your eyes are more comfortable closed, that's okay. And first of all, just become aware of where you are right now, in this room with others. This shared experience of being in this place. And then if you could pay attention to your posture. Starting with the sitting bones and working upward. Bringing the weight of your torso over the sitting bones. Perhaps arching the lower back in just a bit. And then bringing the weight of your head directly over your shoulders and over your sitting bones, so that a line going from the top of your head down through your sitting bones would point directly towards the center of the earth. Sometimes it helps alignment to just raise your head up just a little bit towards the ceiling. You may need to tuck your chin just a bit to get your head balanced. When your head is leaning forward, it puts strain on the neck and the shoulders. So sitting upright, neither to the left, to the right, or forward or backward, but upright. And as you're sitting there, just notice any tension in your body. Tension accumulates in our body just from being in the world, reacting to things, anticipating things. But right now you don't need that tension because we're safe here. You can relax that tension. So while keeping your body upright, just notice any tension in your face, around your eyes, your mouth, across your forehead, any tension. Any tightness in the shoulders, just let the shoulders drop. You don't need to raise your shoulders. You're not holding up anything. They can relax now. And you can also relax the muscles in your chest and abdomen, your back, and your arms and legs, hands and feet. So that you're expending as little energy as possible while remaining upright with good posture. So the residual movement in your body is the breath, which becomes more prominent now. And you can focus on that movement, that sensation of breathing. Perhaps letting your mind just drift downward into your belly, into your lower abdomen. Feeling the belly rise and fall with each inhalation and exhalation. Effortlessly, just breathing. Not fixing your breath or trying to make it something, just experiencing breath.